Question number 1. If 15 times 27 equal 405, then 405 divided by 15 equal what? Equal 27. We have 15 multiplication by 27 equal 405. Then 405 divided by 15 equal 27, because 15 times 27 equal 405. Question number 2. If 2054 equal 26 times 79, then 2060 divided by 79 equal 26 and the remainder space. We can find the remainder here between two numbers. We have 2054 and 2060, and we can find the difference between two numbers, two dividend here. To find the remainder, find the difference between two dividend. 2060 subtract by 2054. The difference between them will be 6. So the remainder here it will be 6. Question number 3. Space divided by 11 equal 14 and the remainder 3. We want to find the dividend. We know the dividend equal divisor multiplication the quotient plus the remainder. Then if we put here unknown x, then x will be 11 multiplication by 14 plus 3. We can find product here between 11 and 14. Right, 14 times 11. Okay, and 1 times 14 equal 14 plus 0. 1 times 14 equal 14 again. 0 plus 4 equal 4. 1 plus 4 equal 5, and 0 right 1. Then x here reverse to the dividend. It will be 154 plus 3. Then x will be 157. It's reverse to the dividend. Okay, next question. Question number 4. Space is a factor of all numbers, it will be 1. But space is a multiple of all numbers, it will be 0. So question number 4, the result will be 1. You want to find the factor of all number, it will be 1. Question number 5. The prime number has only two factors. The prime number has only two factors. Okay, choose letter here, letter C. Okay, again, the prime number has only two factors. We have two factors. Any prime number has only two factors, can divide it by itself and one only. Okay, such as 2, 3, 5, 7, 11. We call it prime numbers. Any prime number has only two factors. Okay, can divide it by itself and one only. Okay, question number 6. The prime. Question number 6. The prime factors of 12 are space. We know 12 equal 2 times 2 times 3. Because 2 times 2 equal 4 and 4 times 3 equal 12. The prime factors of 12 are 2 times 2 times 3. Question number 7. If the prime factors of a number are 2 by 2 by 2, then the number it will be what? 2 by 2 by 2. The result will be equal 8. Question 8. The least common multiplication of any two prime numbers is their product. Okay, their product. Again, this question. The least common multiplication of any two prime numbers, it will be their product. So subtract by what? So, such as that 5 and 2. If you want to find the least common multiplication between 5 and 2, we must find the product of 5 and 2. 5 times 2 equal 10. Question number 9. The least common multiplication of relatively prime numbers is what? Their product again. Their product. What about relatively prime numbers? Do you know relatively prime number? Relatively prime numbers such as that 2 and 4. we called it 2 and what, and 41. We called it relatively prime number because the height common factor between two numbers is 1, or such that 3 and 8, we called it relatively prime numbers. The least common multiplication between two numbers here, it will be 3 times 8 equal 24. Then the least common multiplication of two relatively prime numbers, it will be their product. But the greatest common factor of relatively prime numbers, it will be 1. So write their product in the space about question number 9. Okay. Question number 10. The greatest common factor of 4 and 15 is space. We want to find the greatest common factor between 4 and 15. We know 15 and 4, we called it relatively prime numbers because the greatest common factor between two numbers is 1. 4 and 15 can't be divided by any numbers without 1. So 4 and 5, we called it relatively prime numbers. The greatest common factor between two numbers here equal 1. To ask question number 10. Question 11. Here, 6 and space are relatively prime numbers. 6 and what? 6 and 35? No. Or true? Okay, 6 and what? Look at 4. 6 and 4? No, because the greatest common factor between them equal 2. What about relatively prime numbers? Relatively prime numbers, it's meaning two numbers can't be divided by any number without 1. So 6 and what? And 35. Yes, 35 true. But 6 and 4, the height common factor between them equal 2. 6 and 15, the height common factor between them equal 3. 6 and 35, height common factor between them equal 1. 6 and 20, height common factor between them equal 2. So 6 and 35, we called it relatively prime numbers. Okay, it was question number 11. Question 12. Space is a multiple of all numbers, it will be 0. 0 is a multiple of all numbers. 0 can divide it by itself. No, 0 can't divide it by itself, but 0 can divide it by all numbers without itself, because 0 divided by itself undefined. We can't find the result between 0 over 0 or 0 divided by 0. We can't find the result. So 0 is multiple of all numbers. But you remember this question I explained from 1 minute. Space is a factor of all number, it will be 1. But in this example, he asked about multiple of all number, it will be 0. Question 13. Here, space is a prime number. 2 is a prime number. Look at here, we have 11. Okay, choose 11. Choose the correct answer. The result will be 11. 11 is a prime number because 11 can divide it by itself, and 1 only has only 2 factors about this number. And question 14. 0, 6, 8, 2 are, we called it what? Even numbers. 0, 6, 8, and 2, we called it even numbers. Question 15. The prime factors of 20. We know 20 equal 4 by 5 and 4 equal 2 times 2 and write 5. Then the prime factors of 22 by 2 by 5. Okay, called it the prime factors of 20. Next question 16. The prime factors of a number are 2 times 3 times 3. Then the number will be what? 2 times 3 equals 6 and 6 times 3 equals 18. Then the number here will be 18. Question 17. The greatest common factor of any two prime numbers is what? Greatest common factor between any two prime numbers is 1. Greatest common factor between any two prime numbers is 1, such that 2 and 3. The prime number has only 2 factors, can divide it by itself and 1 only, such that 2 and 3 or 3 and 5 is the height common factor between them equal 1. Question 18. The least common multiple of two prime numbers is what? Is their product. Such that 2 and 3. If you want to find the least common multiplication between 2 or 3, you must find the product of them. So question 18, the least common multiple of two prime numbers is their product. Question 19, the least common multiple of are relatively prime numbers, again it will be their product, again their product, okay, such that 2 and 3, or we call here two relatively prime numbers such that 3 and what, 3 and 10. 3 and 10 we called it relatively prime numbers because the highest common factor between 3 and 10 is 1. Relatively prime numbers 3 and 10. Why? Because the highest common factor between them equal 1. 3 and 10 can't be divided by any numbers without 1. Okay, so the greatest common factor between 3 and 10, it will be 1. We called it relatively prime numbers. And then question 20, the least common multiple of 8 and 5. 8 and 5. We know 8 and 5 we called it relatively prime numbers because the highest common factor between 8 and 5 is 1. Then the least common multiplication between 8 and 5, it will be product between them, their product. 5 times 8 equal 40. Then the result here equal 40 about question 20. Question 21, the greatest common factor of 6 and 25. 6 and 25 here we called it relatively prime numbers because the highest common factor between two numbers here equal 1. Okay, question 21, the greatest common factor between two numbers here, it will be 1. 6 and 25 can't be divided by any number without 1. Question number 22, 8 and space are relatively prime numbers. Look at here, 8 and 35. Okay, 8 and 35 we call them relatively prime numbers because the highest common factor between 8 and 35 equal 1. 8 equal 1 times 8 and 35 equal 5 times 7 and 1 times 35. Then the highest common factor between two numbers here 1. So 8 and 35 we called it relatively prime numbers. Question 23, 12 and space are relatively prime numbers. Again, this question like question up. Okay, 12 and what? Look at here, 12 and 25. 12 and 25. And 25, the highest common factor between 12 and 25 equal 1. Then 12 and 25 are relatively prime numbers. Question 24, the greatest common factor of a number whose prime factors are 2 and 5, and the number whose factors 3 and 7 is what? He write here the prime factors of the first number we called it what? He give us 2 and 5. 2 times 5 equal 10. It's the first number. And second number whose factors are 3 and 7. 3 times 7 equal 21. Okay, we can write here in Ventagram all factors. We have common factors between 10 and 21 because the highest common factor between them equal 1. Okay, the greatest common factor between them equal 1. We can write 2 and 5 here factors of 10. And 3 and 7 here, the factors of 21. Then the greatest common factor of 21 and 10, it will be equal 1. And next question, 25, space is a factor of all numbers, it will be 1. 1, we called it a factor of all numbers. And question 26, 6 multiplication by 7 plus 5. We used here distributive properties. We can write 6 times 7 plus 6 times 5, okay, using here distributive properties. And the next question 27, 4 times 9 plus 4 multiplication by 3. You want to find what here? You want to find the number in the another expression by write the highest common factor between two numbers outside. We have 4 repeated here, write 4 outside, and the remainder here 9, and the remainder from the next parenthesis here equal 3. Okay, 4 multiplication by 9 plus 3. So choose last one here. Question 28. Question 28 here. 1 and 3 over 4 plus 2 and 1 over 4. We can find the least common multiplication between them equal 4. We have the same denominator, right? 4 in denominator, and 1 plus 2 equal 3, and 3 plus 1 equal 4. 4 over 4 equal 1, 1 plus 3 equal 4. The result will be equal 4 here. Question 29. -3 located towards the right of space in the number line. We have here negative 3, and the right hand side here it will be negative 2, and left hand side here it will be negative 4. He won't find what? Look at this question. Negative 3 located to the right of what? Of negative 4 in the number line. Again, negative 3 located where? Located to the right of negative 4 on the number line. Right, negative 4. Okay, but negative 3 located at the right of negative 2. He wants, in this example, negative 3 located to the right of what? The right of negative 4. Look at negative 4. You have right hand side here about negative 4. Then the result will be negative 4. Question 30. The number that comes just before negative 1, it will be negative 2. Before, meaning subtract 1 from the number. He want to find what? He want to find the number that comes just before negative 1. Before negative 1, it will be negative 1 subtracted by 1. The result will be negative 2. Then the result here will be negative 2. Question 31. Negative 9 greater than space here. Negative 9 greater than negative 15. Yes, because negative 9 nearest to 0. And 32 here, the opposite of negative 12, it will be 12. It will be the opposite number of negative 12 here. It will be 12. Question 33. Space is neither positive nor negative. It will be 0. 0 is neither positive nor a negative number. Right, 0 in this question. This question 33. The result will be 0. Question 34. The opposite of 5, it will be negative 5. The opposite of 5, it will be negative 5. Greater than space. Negative 5 greater than what? Here, greater than negative 6. Right? Negative 6 in space. Choose here negative 6. Question 35. The largest negative integer will be negative 1. The largest negative integer is negative 1. Okay, the largest negative integer is negative 1. Question 36. The largest non-positive integer, it will be 0. 0, non-positive and non-negative. All negative numbers space 0. Question 37. Or negative number less than 0. Okay, choose the sign. Less than 0. Question 38. All positive numbers greater than 0. Greater than 0. And question 37. Again, all negative number less than 0. Okay. Question 39. All integers that express the depth of wall 5 meters will be negative 5. Negative 5. Okay, the integer that express the depth of wall of 5 meters will be negative 5. Question 40. An integer between 2 and negative 2 is what? We have here negative 2 and 2. We have here negative 1 and 0. It choose negative 1 or 0 from the choosing here. Question 40. We will choose negative 1. Right here, negative 1 about question 40. What about question? Next question here. The next question will be 41. 41 here. Okay, look at 41. The number just after negative 9, it will be what? It will be negative 8. Just after negative 9, it will be negative 8. What about after meaning add 1 to the number? The result will be negative 8. Question 42. Negative 25 or negative 12. Negative 12 is greater than negative 25. Okay, question 43. 6 less than space here less than 8. Less than 8. Question 44. Negative 2.5 is an rational number. Negative 2.5, we can convert it to fraction, right? Negative 25 over 10 because the point here after one place. And we can simplify it by divided by 5 numerator and numerator, it will be 2, and 25 divided by 5 equal 5. So negative 2.5, we called it rational number. We called it a rational number because the denominator here not equal 0. Question 45 is 5 is not a or n what? 5 is not even number. 5 is not an even number. 5 is not an even number. Next question, question 46. Question 46 here. 0 is an natural number. Is a natural number. Zero is a natural number. A natural number beginning by 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 to infinity, but counting number beginning by 1, 1, 2, 3, 4 to infinity. Okay, we called it what here? 0 is a natural number. Question 47. The opposite of negative 3 over 4, we won't find the opposite about this number, it will be positive 3 over 4. Question 48. Negative 6 in a form a over b, it will be right negative 6 over 1. We can convert negative 6 from integers to fraction. We called it rational number because any integer is a number subset of rational number. Set of integers subset of set of rational number. So negative 6, we can write negative 6 over 1. And question 49, additive inverse of a number 3 over 5, it will be negative 3 over 5. We called it additive inverse. It's the opposite about this number. Negative 7 over 4 greater than what here? Negative 7 over 4 greater than what? We can convert negative 7 over 4 here from improper to mixed number. Write negative outside and write 1 outside. 1 times 4 equal 4 and the remainder 3. So negative 1 and 3 over 4 greater than what here? Greater than what? Negative 1 greater than negative 8 over 4 because negative 8 over 4 equal 2.